Hello, viewers. I'm SB,
And I'm Amabel.
and I did not give you any warning I was about to do that. I apologize. And here we
You're
are back
fine.
in Pentiment. It's time. The past sucks, and I hate it here. Let's go see what's up. Let's go find our lost boy.
I mean, the past does, it does suck, famously, and that's. Let me tell you something. As someone who makes a living mostly based on the past, it is really draining sometimes.
We haven't really talked about this at all, which is kind of weird. I introduced you as a history expert, and I don't think that's unfair. But
It
I
is.
I just want to take a second for everyone who doesn't know Amabel Holland.
Oh no.
You're a board game designer and publisher, and you make and have made a lot of board games that make interesting arguments about real historical happenings and stuff. And this is just rad as hell. Every time I think about that, I'm struck all over again by how that is the raddest shit I have ever heard of.
See, now here's the thing.
Yeah.
Then I remember that you play video games for a living. That's also pretty fucking rad.
It is good. It is pretty good. All right, I'm going this way because I want to get down into the woods before going through town.
Also, you want to pet Schlau.
Also, I did want to pet Schlau. Yep, here's everybody doing stuff out here. Okay, very good and normal times that we're all having. Are people up here at the shrine? Somebody is. Oh, hey, it's Casper. Wow, that didn't take very long. What on... Casper, what's going on? Who was that? Master Andreas? What are you doing out here? Casper, thank God. I was worried when you didn't come back. Where have you been? I was at the bonfire with Killian, but I heard a ruckus from deeper in the woods. I left to go see what it was. Which one's Killian? Oh, the kid. Right. Jeez. Well, this didn't take very long. Father Gernot, what are you doing here? I was chasing one of the townsfolk, but lost track of the costumed buffoon. The forest is off limits. I'll figure out who's breaking the rules and excommunicate them myself. What was that? Someone is screaming in town. They're really taking this nonsense too far this year. It's interesting that these are different. Do we want to go back to town together? I wouldn't have thought anything of it if we didn't have the explicit choice between the two of them. I feel like this is the the Scooby-Doo response, right? Where it's this thing, but it's got a different energy.
All right, let's Scooby-Doo it.
You want to Scooby-Doo it? All right.
Yeah.
Well, what are we still doing here? Come on, gang.
Oh, you gotta do the wind up with the legs. Aww.
Oh, Father Gernot has joined the party. Sorry, Abbot. The Abbot has joined the party. What the fuck is going on? Why are people running around so much? It's very disconcerting.
I was about to say I hope he has good summons, but then I realized that in those games with the summons, they definitely just have angels and Christian figures in them.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Huh.
That rule's so hard.
No, it doesn't. Huh. I've never seen these flowers before. I wonder where they found them. Who was that running off, anyway? Well, it's too hard to tell who's who in these stupid costumes. Look, who cares? Let's go see what the screaming is about.
Also, with the way he's dressed, I wouldn't criticize other people's attire.
Well, that's about who we figured it was going to be. Werner, is he... dead? Yes, I'm afraid so. Someone released the rope. The platform crushed him. What? How did this happen? Baltas and Leonard and I heard the crash and stepped outside to see what had happened. Right. and then we saw a figure in a costume rushing off from the rat house. That must have been whoever released the rope. And what were you doing during all of this, Lenhard? Enjoying a light meal with these gentlemen. Ah, what a shame you can't blame me for this, Peter. Casper, look to see if Otto had a note. Huh? Do it. Why are we making Casper do it? No, Master, there's nothing. Are you certain? What were you expecting? It's so weird that he would make Casper do it if he... That's weird, right? Am I
It's weird.
jumping at nothing here? Because, like, especially if he was like, this will confirm this mystery that's been on my mind for 7 years. This will finally dig into it. Why would you not want to lay your own hand to it, right? I'm not sure.
The only thing I could think of is that because Otto was something of a friend, you might not want to.
Yeah, it would be unpleasant to do it yourself. I don't know. It strikes me as very strange. That is, like, for that reason, I would want to do it myself because I'd want to feel like, I know I'm going to do it respectfully and.
Yeah.
My God. Otto. No. You. The abbot must have killed him. The bastard always had it out for Otto. We all knew it. We need answers. How dare you? I won't stand here and be accused of such a foul act by a peasant. I mean, it does seem like it can't have been the abbot. But it sure does seem like it would have been the abbot, right?
Yeah.
Go after him. Wait, no, the abbot was with us. He's innocent. I know it's crazy, but there's literally no way he could have killed Otto. Now grab the artist and the boy too. We'll get to the bottom of this. Casper, run! Boy, you do not run very good. This is some...
I'm sorry. This is very serious. This is a lot goofier than I think they realized.
No, you know what? With the craft on display here, I think they know exactly where they're at. My guess is this is what they were doing. I'm ready, though. I'm tense. I'm ready for the QTE. We're going to have to, like, duck underneath a fruit stand and then avoid some guys carrying a sheet of glass across the road.
What's a QTE?
Okay. Don't worry about it. That was a joke for the audience.
You need to start telling me these jokes.
I will. Brothers, to the library, now! They ran through the church, this way! Okay, don't just... well, we know a way into the library. They've locked the door. Oh, great. Cool. They surrounded us already. That was fast. Andreas, get out of the way. Otto's death demands justice. Okay, look, the abbot couldn't have killed Otto. He was with us when we found the body. That's true. He did arrive with you, but you don't know where he was before that, do you, Andreas? Who else would want to kill Otto? Coward! Killer! Andreas, move! Okay, hold on a second. Gernot would not have had time to run from the commons to the forest to come back with us. There must be another killer, don't you see? Okay, it doesn't seem like they're really all that interested in listening to logic. And sometimes they're just yelling things like he's a monster, which is just true. It's not really related. It's sort of not germane to the topic here. If those monks don't come out, we'll set fire to the whole place and cook them. You've all gone mad. Okay. I mean, I feel like we want to just keep going with the logician thing. I hate to just like default to whichever one has the icon, but it keeps being right.
Yeah.
Everyone was
There's
in. Sorry, go ahead.
well, there's a reason why we chose that background.
Yeah.
Because there's one that appeals to both of us, especially in this kind of story.
All right, everyone was in costume, so anybody could have had the chance to kill Otto for any reason. Yeah, I didn't recognize most of you in your outfits until you talked to me. Oh, Casper, please tell me you have an eidetic memory, my dude. Ugh, fine, damn it. You've got one day to find whoever you think is the real killer, Andreas. Otherwise, we will come back for the abbot. Andreas, all I want is justice for my husband. Please, you must find the murderer. Okay, fucking Christ. Ava, Otto was a good man. I won't stop until I find who killed him. Well, it's time to do... Wow, okay. I'm just gonna roll right on into the afternoon there, huh? I feel like we had a lot of important work to do to just...
Yeah.
The peasants are really convinced that Gernot killed Otto, but it was impossible. Yeah. Peter's temper got in the way. The abbot is an easy target because he was at odds with Otto and his cause. I want to say this one specifically because, like, what we're doing here is we're teaching Casper to be a boy adventurer. I want him thinking about the fact that we're going to have to manage people's emotions if we want to get out of this in one piece.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if we want the city to get out of this in one piece. So, like, draw attention to Peter's temper. Master, Peter was furious. He's only giving you a day to find the murderer. Why'd you even agree to find who really killed Otto anyway? You didn't have to get involved this time. Why do it again? Well, there's a lot more weight on anything to keep from going back to Nuremberg now. But
yeah, but
I also think, like, as we talked about, I think, like, you know, the thing that happened last time is something that I think Andreas, like, holds with him. Like, it was a moment where he was able to do something and feel like he, as sort of messy as it turned out, he was able to do something and feel like he really helped people and feel like he had done something for the good. And so I think he wants to do it again as much as he is needed. Can I tell you something? This is partially probably coming from the fact that one of my least favorite story tropes is the reluctant hero. I am so fucking tired of reluctant heroes. Like, one of my very favorite parts, a moment where I, like, totally fell in love with Control is, like, 15 minutes into Control, Jesse's like, I'm so glad I'm here. This is exactly what I want to be doing right now. And I was like, oh my God, yes, thank you, finally.
Yeah, I really hate. We talked before about how I feel a lot of films that are like 90 minutes, it'd be better if they were 70 minutes, because there's like a 20-minute segment where they refuse to call to adventure or whatever, or they drag their feet. Just get on with the story and just have someone want to do a thing. I actually like people who want to do things. You know who doesn't refuse to call to adventure? Gilgamesh. He just gets right in there. So I feel like we've lost something over time, frankly.
Fair enough. That's extremely difficult to argue with. I'm going to say everyone deserves justice because it seems like the most Phoenix Wright thing to say.
Who is Phoenix Wright?
Put it on the list. I want you to have a notepad next to you while we're doing these.
I don't have a notepad. No.
And you can just write down the stuff that I need to explain to you after the episode. You have a good heart, Master Andreas. So who do you think did it then? Where do we even start? We should talk to Lenhard. He always hated the peasants and supported the abbot. He was very vocal against Otto in the town commons the other day. And even if he didn't kill Otto, he might know who else had the motivation to. Oh, what about Martin Bauer? When we saw him talking to Otto, they seemed to be arguing over something. It's not likely. Martin supported Otto and the peasants. But it would be worth talking to Martin to see what they were discussing. He might have an idea of who would want to kill Otto. It could, like, the whole Peasants' War thing could be a misdirect, right? It could be
Yeah.
that Otto's been killed over something very personal. Good idea. Who else? I can't think of anyone else who would want to kill Otto. I mean, basically, like, anybody who didn't want this whole thing to come to a head, right? Killing Otto is the
Yeah.
easiest way to sort of blunt the momentum of the rebellion. We'll have to do some more investigating to find out who the murderer is, but we'd better move fast. Could the murderer confess to Father Thomas? Well, maybe. But even if the murderer did, Father Thomas is bound by the seal of confession. He won't tell us.
That's not how confession works.
Is Andreas just wrong here?
Everyone is wrong. Everyone is always wrong. If they have, I'm not even
No, I think it might be relevant.
murder.
Please do.
No, if someone confesses to a murder, my understanding is the church has to do something about that. Has to tell, like, oh yeah, someone murdered someone. You don't get same thing with like they have this trope with therapists as well, where like they can't. No, therapists absolutely have a duty to report, and it's
Well, they have a duty to report certain things.
yes, murder is one of them.
Sure, I just like
And it's also true with the you cannot just confess to a murder and then they have to keep it quiet. Anyway, I like this because this is sneaky stuff.
Okay. However, we could eavesdrop on confessions. Since St. John's Eve just happened, the townsfolk will all come in to confess. Oh yeah, one of the townsfolk might have heard something anyway. That's a good place to start. We can also ask around at the Golden Hand. The travelers. The only person here besides us is Samuel, and Samuel has never gotten up from that table. The travelers might have seen or heard something useful. We'll pretend that could happen. What about the person who ran by us in the forest? They were wearing these flowers. I've never seen them before. Yeah, show me those flowers. Right. We have to find the source of these flowers in the woods. That might give us some sort of connection to the killer. Well, we have a lot of good places to start. Even though time is short, we have a good chance at finding the real killer. All right, let's get to work. Okay.
So can you pause it? It tells us how many hours are left.
Yes. It doesn't. Oh, yes. Sorry, it does.
17 hours
17
remaining.
hours remaining.
Okay.
We slept way too much. Okay, there's so much to do. Child, small child, hello. Hello, Master Mahler. Anything I can do for you? Yes, actually. You were pretty vocal against Otto in the town commons. What was that about? Just what I said then. I don't want anyone to get hurt, especially now. We've already had one death in Tassing. We don't need any more. I mean, getting into a philosophical argument with her right now is probably not. This is not the most. This is not the thing of highest utility.
I would go to the second or the third one for sure. And they seem like kind of different shades around the same idea.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, but you were opposed to Otto's ideas, though. He spoke against violence. Otto was an ideologue. He didn't see the reality of the situation. The Golden Hand relies on pilgrims and travelers for its business, Andreas. If Otto got his way, everything would be chaos. Swabia is burning as it is. We need the law to live civilized lives, Andreas. What Otto was advocating for scared me. Honestly, that feels like strong motive to want Otto out of the way. I mean, it feels like a strong enough motive to me personally. I think people get real twitchy when you threaten the idea of what they think upholds the social order.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree with that. Whether we would
Say that out loud.
I don't want to do that Charlie thing.
My concern is that if we don't say that out loud, it might be the same as Andreas never thinking it because of how video games work.
Okay, I'll trust your judgment on this because you canonically know more about video games than I do.
You're right, though. This is a super Charlie Cale of a thing to say. That seems like a strong motive to want Otto out of the way. I bet you go pretty far to protect the inn, huh? So we didn't do enough to make her think that we love the inn. So we missed some dialogue here. Andres, are you accusing me of killing Otto? Don't be absurd. I disagreed with the man, but you think I could kill him? For what? Look around. Is anything better now that he's dead? Unless there's anything more you need, I won't abide by this foolishness. I am gonna say no, Hannah. Sorry to bother you. Good day, Andriak. She's so mad at me, she refuses to pronounce my name correctly. Killian. Nothing? Okay. Master Mahler, is there anything I can do for you? Nico, have you heard anyone in here talking about Otto's murder? And not just talking about it, but did you hear anyone confess? It would be so fucking cool. It would be so choice if you could just tell me who did it. Yeah, you know.
Oh, Casper's trying.
Thanks, Casper. He understands, Casper. Thank you. Like they had something to do with it. Oh, no, I think I'd remember something like that. Then again, I try not to eavesdrop on conversations. I don't want to get yelled at, or worse. But maybe you could find more luck talking to people. Beer always tends to loosen people's lips. Buy a round for everyone, and you can have the run of the place. You'll be here a while, though. Interesting idea. Maybe later. Each one of the things we want to investigate is going to find a way to spend the afternoon, you know? Hello, Andreas. Samuel, you're very fucking conspicuous for a guy who's done nothing except say hello, Andreas, so far. Do you think it was Samuel just because he's the most conspicuous person in town?
I don't know.
Hold on. I'm going to go talk to Smokey. Smokey always knows shit. Schlau. When I say it like that, it kind of sounds like an onomatopoeia. It's like some shit you would see on a splash screen in the Adam West Batman.
Mm-hmm. So here's the thing that I've noticed, like structurally, because with the first murder, they gave us like, here are the 4 people to look into, right?
Yeah.
And here we have a couple possible leads, but then, we have to try to dig into it deeper and find more leads, which means Ursula's still on the table.
My suspicion is I could have noticed more things that would have been offered up in that initial conversation. It's just like we missed some talking to some people or whatever. Here's some flowers, Master. Close, but not a match to the ones you found. Let's keep searching. I mean, you know what I'm thinking as far as those flowers go. I'm thinking the flower beds in the convent. I am not allowed to ask Smokey about rumors and stuff. Look, Master Andreas, flowers. Yeah, but they're like extremely not. This doesn't even look a little bit the same. Dude.
This kid.
This fucking kid. Oh, look at these flowers, Master. Well, yes, but these don't match the ones you picked up. We should keep looking. The way he said that, the way Casper said that, I don't think he was thinking about that. He was just like, hey, look at those.
Maybe he doesn't have object permanence. Maybe he has the opposite of the eidetic memory.
And what about these, Master Andreas? No, these flowers are red. Casper is just he's getting further and further off. We go back into the into the convent. He's going to point to the dog and be like, "What about that, Master?"
This is some Blue's Clues shit. I like this very much. I think Casper is a great addition to the game. I'm glad he's shown up.
Master Andreas, more flowers. Yeah, no, these ones are pink and they're the wrong shape and no part of this. And there must be a part of the forest we haven't looked at yet. We're not going to correct that. Okay, no, that's fine. We should go back over all the areas and especially poke at the edges. Well, damn, Casper, or Andreas, I was getting there. Poke at the edges.
He has very strong feelings about edgy.
All right. Ah, poke at the edges. There's a map we haven't been allowed to go to yet. Master, I think I see an opening behind these trees that leads deeper into the forest. Could this be where that mysterious costumed figure ran when Otto was murdered?
I mean, we saw him run.
Yeah, we know this. We know for a fact that that is where they went. We should see where it leads. It could take a while, though. Ah, okay. We'll come back. Hold on. I want to do the cursory interview stuff. But I do think that this is definitely worth pursuing. Because, like, here's the thing. The person that we caught with Casper is not the murderer.
No.
But they're still being very weird. And that's something. All right, that's just time. That's not... It's not related.
Do we want to go up to the mill?
Yes. I'm doing like a thorough once over here. I want to talk to everybody. We were not thorough last time. Andreas, enjoy the bonfire? Up until the murder, I suppose. They only seem to happen when you're here. That's actually a really good point. What are you doing back here, anyway? I don't need your permission to visit Tassing. I don't feel like that's needlessly confrontational. I came to pay my respects to Brother Piero. Why? He can't hear you. He's gone. Well, for my own sake, I suppose. All right. I understand that. Stupid, but I understand it. Can't imagine why anyone would come to Tassing unless they were desperate. Do you work for Father Thomas? Work for? I'm his slave. I clean this damn church and keep his house so I have a roof over my head. Around the time the Baron was murdered, I lost my home. That bastard, the abbot, took it from me. Now I have to rely on the charity of the church. Oh, I hate the church as much as the abbey. I wish there were a hell so I could send a lot of these holy men there. No, I get it. Yeah, I would also be pretty cross. You don't. You can't. No matter. Do you happen to know anything about Otto's murder? No, why would I? Why do you care? Well, I'm not going to say this to her.
Yeah,
I'm just asking. You never know who might have seen or heard something. Well, I haven't. Are we done? Yeah, I guess so. We need to convince her that it's a good idea to help us here. Hold on. Just curious if we see anything else in this. Nope. Oh, right. The labyrinth. This is exactly that labyrinth.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't recognize it when we saw it in the dream. I just now got there. Oh, Andreas, what have you come back to? This is all awful, just awful. I should never have allowed Klaus to publish the 12 articles. This is what happens when common people get agitated by reading nonsense. Well, what's the alternative? Forbidding them from reading? Sometimes, yes. Just because a commoner has learned to read, that does not mean he can fully comprehend any book he finds. Some of these texts are written to inflame passions. They're not all written with modest intentions. These pamphlets, these books, can make people crazed, furious. Sister Amelie and I have seen what happens when good people become part of a mob. What do you mean? Before we came to Tassing, I was the priest at a town near a Benedictine convent. The town was full of good people. But the good people were whipped into a panic by an educated neighbor, the town doctor. He had read the Malleus Maleficarum and had put ideas into his head. Oh, this one I know. The Hammer of Witches, a treatise on witchcraft published in Speyer in 1486. Theologians at the University of Cologne condemned the book as unethical and not in line with Catholic doctrine. Despite this, the book has enjoyed widespread popularity. Interesting that this contains nothing about it, actually. This is all metadata.
I'd go with the second one personally.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what he's even asking with this first one. Does he think the fact that the book was condemned by theologians should mean a doctor wouldn't read it? Or... I don't even understand really what his logic is.
I mean, that's consistent with the church background, but not with the occult knowledge background and mysticism background that we have.
Weird.
So,
all right, the witch hunting manual. The author was driven out of Innsbruck, wasn't he? Yes, the word of that had not reached our doctor. The one thing the book's author and the doctor shared was a contempt for and hatred of women. Yeah, well, there's a lot of that going around. In the convent, the doctor saw a coven of witches. In Sister Amelie, he saw not a mystic, but a woman possessed by evil spirits, speaking blasphemy. Even St. Hildegard came under suspicion for her visions. Neither one of these seemed like a valuable thing for me to say.
yeah.
And she prevailed, praise God, but we do not live in St. Hildegard's time. The doctor believed the nuns were witches. The local magistrate did not agree, but that did not stop the doctor from inflaming his neighbor's fears. No matter what I did, no matter what I said, it made no difference. They wouldn't listen to reason. They wouldn't even listen to scripture. Sort of.
Which is not the same as reason.
Sort of a devastating soft burn on scripture there. In the dead of night, they gathered at the convent and set fire to it. Sister Amelie was lucky to escape with her life. The rest of the nuns were not as fortunate. So I am all too aware of what can happen when a mob forms. I should have known it would happen again. This is my fault. You can't blame yourself for this. Literally, it doesn't make sense to do. That's a wild thing to do, Father. Why not? I share more than a small measure of responsibility. You'd think that Otto's death would have shocked the farmers into abandoning a hopeless cause. It's only inflamed them. Well, I do want to blame the abbot. Right? I think this makes sense to say.
Yeah.
I am fully blaming the abbot. It should never have come to this. The abbot should have known he was playing with fire. And what about Otto and Peter? What about Klaus? Shouldn't they have known? Peasants are being butchered all over Swabia. I just want this to stop before it gets any worse. I suppose there's no good fretting about what's already happened. I have to minister to the people of the town as best I can, given the circumstances, and pray for the best. Speaking of which, I need to hear confessions for the townsfolk. It's a Tassing tradition after St. John's Eve. In case they get up to any mischief, they can't wait until Easter. I have to give priority to the locals, of course, but if you want to wait a few hours, I can hear you. You don't have to, of course, but I would be remiss if I didn't offer. Not right now, Father, but thank you. Alright, so we've got 3 potentially useful ways to spend the next few hours. Let us go up to the old mill here real quick. Elsa? Nothing. Paul? Also nothing. Just standing outside near these aqueducts in a very suspicious fashion. Okay.
You think the guy's in the house though?
Oh, was the door... You know what? I wasn't even paying attention to whether or not the door was enterable. Because it's often not. But yeah, you're right. We can totally go in there. And if we hadn't, we would have missed Staub. Such a refined pup. Look at him. Staub, you are the king of dogs.
I think he's pretty good for a dog. You know.
Andres, it appears you're caught up in another murder again. Quite unfortunate timing for you. We know who Baltus is. I know who Baltus is. And quite fortunate for you, given your meal with Baltus and Dr. Stoltz. Is this a thing worth saying? It's like, I would definitely accuse you of the murder if you didn't have an alibi. As much as I like to give this dude shit because he does suck, I think we're going to go, if I can find the real killer and prevent more bloodshed, maybe it's a good thing I was here. I'll just stall them. Either they'll see the error of their ways or the Duke will send soldiers to Tassing. Yes, a show of force. That will quench the peasants' bloodlust.
Yeah, it's nothing.
In any case, if you get tired of investigating, my door's open. If you'd like to join my family for a meal or see the mountains, just let me know. Perhaps some other time? As you wish, of course. Until later. What would happen if we... What a strange... Why does he want to take us out to the mountains?
Can we talk to the... I mean, you can run around and talk to people, but can we talk to the inventor?
Okay, yeah. I want to make sure we get Martin.
Yeah.
Good to see you, Andreas. Hello, Kat. Martin seems different from how I remembered him. What changed? I mean, we kind of know that, right? Oh, that's right. He was still gone by the time you left Tassing. He returned several weeks later, like he always did. And was it his travels or time that changed him? Well, only God knows the truth of a man's heart, but I suspect the challenges he faced or the road improved his memories of home. He hasn't stolen anything or run off in years. Truly, the Lord provides for his faithful. He and Otto were arguing the other day, though. Do you know why? Were they? I'm sorry, Andres, but I don't know anything about that. Martin supports Otto in his cause against the abbot's taxes. They didn't have any cause to fight. Yeah, I don't know, Kat. Their argument was quite heated. Would Martin have any reason to hurt Otto? Well, of course not. They'd become close friends these past few years, like brothers. Well, even brothers quarrel. After France died, God blessed me by returning my son to me healed of his darkness. We should be giving thanks that the Lord led Martin to the light. This feels like a weird, mean thing to say.
Yeah.
Look, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to disturb you. I'm just trying to find out who really killed Otto. But trust me, Andres, I know my own son. Martin would never do such a thing. Well, thank you for talking with me, Kat. Thank you for hearing me out. I also don't think Martin did it, like, to be clear. Okay, Martin's house is locked. Martin! He's the man. What? Am I really not allowed to ask him about the... I mean, maybe he would just stonewall me, but let him stonewall me, right? Why on earth would you not be able to have a real conversation with him? Hello, Andreas. Could you spare a moment, Brigitte? I suppose. What do you need? It was so strange seeing Martin. What do you mean? Well, it seems like he came back from his travels a changed man. For the better, yes. For all the grief he gave me, we're happy now. Is that so bad? No, of course not. He did get into an argument with Otto when I was coming into town, though. What happened there? Why all the questions about my husband, Andreas? Well, the actual answer is I'm not allowed to ask them directly of him for some reason. But I don't think we need to make the point to her that, like, she's so happy to have him back and so happy for him. Like, both she and Kat are, like, very protective of new Martin.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna lie to her here. Well, I'm just trying to catch up on everything that's changed in Tassing. I'm making a list. You're a poor liar, Andreas. Is she gonna tell us? Do you think she's gonna tell us? Like, is this gonna be a useful line pushing this?
The last time we talked with her,
I remember very well the last time we talked with her.
Yeah, I
whatever she knows, I just can't imagine. I'm just gonna remain silent.
Remain silent.
Otto was pressing Martin to support him in the town commons. Martin's changed, and after his history in this town, he doesn't want to get involved with any more trouble. He didn't want to speak in the commons because he's afraid of the abbot. They squabbled over it. That's all. Otto threatened Martin if he didn't cooperate. What was your husband so afraid Otto knew? Yeah, we did a bad job with Brigitte, like a bunch. Your husband can't have changed that much. I know that Otto and Martin quarreled, but that's all. Maybe he flew off the handle with Otto. You know how men are. I'm sorry, but I don't know anything about the matter. Yeah. Now, please, I need to get back to work. Yeah, things went so badly last time we talked to her, there's no way that anything we said this time would have made a difference. I needed to not screw up colossally before.
Yeah.
It is still, like, I'm still kind of baffled that I can't actually talk to Martin. Well, we get a few more people in town that it's important to get to. Hello, Andreas. Good to see you back in town. Hello, Veronica. How have you been? Oh, you know, pulled every which way. Mom's been a cow about when I'll give her grandchildren. As if I'm not doing enough work already. I super don't want to insert myself in this business, and we do not have a choice here.
Middle one, I guess. I don't know.
I'm gonna say the bottom one because I think the bottom one keeps us on her good side. This is us agreeing with her, right?
Right. Okay.
Oh yeah, you shouldn't rush something as important as children. That's what I keep telling her. Maybe you should talk to her, Andreas. If it comes from someone as successful as you, maybe she'll pay attention. Anyway, I should get back to work. We're all preparing for the festival. I'll leave you to it. Until later, Veronica. Okay, we can't actually talk to Hetty. Hans has nothing to say. Sadly, Johann does. Andreas, you and me need to talk. Do we? Now, all right, what's on your mind? Why are you helping the abbot? You know what he's been doing to our families. Peter is threatening the entire abbey, not just the abbot. I suppose you do have some friendliness with them. Those monks never did any good by me or my family. By my measure, they've done a lot of harm. Yeah, okay, look, I understand your anger toward the abbot, but the monks do not deserve to die. And what do we deserve, Andreas? To starve? When's the last time you went hungry, Andreas? In the last month, I count more lean days than full. If it weren't for Ulrich's charity, we wouldn't have had any bread at all this week. Okay, then the abbot should answer for it, but not by burning the entire abbey down. All right. You know what? If you're dead set on this, I think I can point you towards someone.
I'll go with the top one.
I really wish I could just say, okay, who? Like, this one expresses disbelief that I think is kind of insulting. And this one, it's just like, all right. What? Really? Yes, really. It's my nephew, Martin. Martin? Really? Why? Because I don't think he's who he says he is. I don't think he's Martin at all. See, this had crossed my mind, but he is really visually similar to Martin. Like, he sure looks like Martin.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think that? Well, we all see what we want to see here, Andreas. The things we don't want to see, we ignore. We ignore it as long as we can, for everyone's sake. Like, there's a version of this that makes sense. Because people are so eager to have him back, and especially to have arguably him, but a different personality back. Like, I definitely did think about this, but it really looks like him. Like, it would have to be somebody who just happened to be very substantially physically similar.
Yeah. But he was bigger, and like, he was a man before, right?
He was like 13 or something, wasn't he?
He was married.
Yeah.
I think, I want to say...
I don't think he was a man before. I think he was like, the deal was struck, you know?
Okay. I was thinking, because he's married and had a kid. 13 seems... Because even when you have, like, child marriages in, like, the Middle Ages especially, they're not usually consummated until someone is much closer to, an age of a maturity. I don't know.
I hear what you're saying, but I also personally know someone who had to get a situation taken care of at 13.
Okay. Well, no. I mean, I know people as well. I'm talking about... Never mind.
Like, there's no version of this where the church was like, "Yay, Martin, go forth and do the fruit of your loins" or whatever. I'm saying, like, the kids were horny and they fucked, and then it turned into a marriage because that's how you deal with that.
Okay, yeah, that might even be it then. Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't say anything about Ava's pretty blonde hair. Jorg doesn't say anything about my daughter's friendship with Brigida. No, I didn't mean to. Sorry, I was just trying to click to advance. Get out of there. Brigida and Kat don't say anything about Martin. Strong Martin. Hard-working Martin. Faithful Martin. Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying. Like, you think he's an imposter because he's too... Well, okay, do you have any evidence? This is what I really want. No, just suspicion and a reason to not trust the man. When the abbot decided to give us old Rannig Kemper's land, there was a fee that we had to pay. We needed to expand. My brother and I couldn't say no. So the land went to both of us. And after Francis' death, a portion went to Martin. Okay, that doesn't sound like the worst thing. No, it wouldn't be if Martin hadn't brought up the idea of selling off the lease. That or parceling it out to other families. It gets complicated, but he'd be putting my land on the other side of someone else's. This whole arrangement works because we hold the land together. So, do you really think Martin, whoever he is, killed Otto? I think it's possible. If he can sleep with another man's wife and steal his land, maybe he could be a killer too. Yeah, all right, I'll consider it. You know, it could be the case that the Martin as we see him looks like Martin because there are a lot of things in the game that we're getting like filtered through Andreas' perception, right? Like when somebody's text changes font.
Yeah.
So maybe he just looks like Martin because we are seeing that Andreas expects him to still be Martin, but he's got literally the same shaped head.
Yeah. I definitely want to go see the inventor.
Yeah.
But but do you want to try going back to Martin real quick and see if he'll talk now that we have that line of inquiry?
Yeah, that's fair. That's a good idea. It would be nice to be able to like interrogate him about it. Like he's got facial hair where he didn't have facial hair before, but I don't think that really means anything. So do we. Okay, Peter doesn't want to talk to me. Big Jorg. Nope, nothing. Hey, could you comb my apprentice for a minute there? Ursula? Hello. Hello, Ursula. Do you remember me? No. Should I? Why, it's me, Andreas. You used to poke me in the foot with a stick to wake me up. I did? You did. I stayed in the room upstairs. I kind of remember that. Right, she's not doing so hot. Mom and Dad sometimes talk about you. They said you went away for more training. What was that like? Well, while I was in Aragon, I learned a new technique to make colors that... No, not about the art, Andreas. About your travels. All right, all right. Oh, do we want to tell stories?
I feel like he's gonna be honest with the kid.
Yeah, that's true. Like we definitely like outlined how with Casper we are shooting as straight as possible.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I've never met so many different people than I have in Aragon. The ports are bustling with Saracens and ships full of gold coming back from the New World, from the Naw world. Mom said a darn man? Dark man. Okay. Mom said a dark man from Abyssinia visited once, but I was too little to remember. She said he was a Christian and lived in the abbey with the monks. Yes, Brother Sabat. He was just visiting, delivering a gift to the abbot. Did we really never click on Sabat's name before? I guess people don't talk about him all that much. He told you a story, too, up in the Shrine to St. Moritz. Do you remember? I don't think so. He sounds interesting. I wish someone interesting would visit us.
Big burn. Fuck you, Andreas.
I am right here, Ursula. Well, maybe he'll come back someday. Should I say this? Like, come on.
Yeah, okay.
I'm right here, Ursula. Andreas, can I ask you something? Okay, she just blows right past it.
Is it wrong if I murdered somebody?
Do you know the stories about Perchta and the Wild Hunt? Well, a little. I didn't learn about them until I lived here. Why? Are they Bad? Bad how? Well, my grandpa tells me things about Perchta and spirits and charms. And the old woman, Attilia, she talks about them too, and says all these words I don't understand. She told me they're part of the old ways or something. Okay, so why do you think they're bad? Well, my dad says I shouldn't listen to any of it. He said it's nonsense, that Father Thomas would be mad. He said he only tolerates it with old people because they're too stuck in their ways. I don't want to get in trouble, but Grandpa says if I don't learn the old ways, they'll just be forgotten. So why are you asking me? Well, I'm afraid if I ask someone else, they'll tell my dad. Or worse, Father Thomas. So, are they bad? Okay, well, like, clearly the answer she wants is no, they're not bad, because she wouldn't be worried about Father Thomas otherwise, right?
Yeah.
So, I think we believe this.
Mm-hmm.
The question is, do we want to give it to her this way? And I appreciate that all of the answers are no, they're not bad. But do we want to give it to her this way, like be careful?
Yeah.
I kind of want to just give her the, like, she's obviously pretty canny about it in the first place.
Yeah.
I think she's got this under control.
Okay.
No, they're not bad. You should learn what you can while you can. Really? I mean, why not? Oh, if we had told her about the giants. Oh, well.
That's my fault.
I'm sorry. Forget I said anything. Until later. I don't know. It's probably for the best given the things that are going to happen here. Maybe we don't need the kid having a bunch of occult beliefs. For her own safety. Andres? Andres, how'd you get caught up in another murder? Well, I'm not trying to do it, I swear.
Oh, I like that last one, actually.
Maybe God wants me to solve murders instead of making art. Seems like a bad way to put food on the table, but maybe you're right. Listen, Andreas, I can't talk any sense into Peter. I understand he's angry. We're all angry. But threatening the abbot? Threatening the adbot? Who would do such a thing? Burning down the abbey. The Duke's soldiers will tear this town apart. Yeah, I'm doing what I can, Andres. Thank you. I know Peter is mostly bluster, but I'm just worried. Worried for all of us. I understand. I'll talk to you later, Andres. Okay, I thought that was maybe going to be a little bit more consequential. Oh, Andreas. I'm so sorry, Ava. I knew something like this would happen. He believed in what he was doing. I know he was doing the right thing. But, Andreas, I was so scared. I don't know what I'm going to do now. We'll get through this, all of us. If my father doesn't get us all killed. God, I hope he doesn't. I'm sorry, Andreas. I'm just so tired. It's all right. Maybe we could come back later and share a meal together. Yes, I think that would help. Later, then. Okay. Yeah, that's a fine idea. Okay. Nothing else to see in here. Do we access the... Hold on. There's a conversation I want to have on this map before I move up. Or maybe not, actually. Okay, yeah, let's go up this way because I wanna visit Klaus. right? And then we'll be on our way up to the inventor.
Okay.
Hi, Maggie. Ah. Oh, never mind. Klaus has nothing to say. I'm a mite surprised. I mean, I guess, like, there's no reason we would think Klaus would have anything to do with the murder. So from a utility of gameplay standpoint, I suppose it makes sense. But from a my best friend was just murdered, or like my closest compatriot was just murdered standpoint, you would think. All right, Lucky, what's going on? Andres, not looking good, is it? I warned you there'd be blood. Looks like only the beginning to me, too. So you did. Otto didn't deserve this. He was an honest man with a good cause. I'm trying to bait him. Nobody deserves to die like this. Best you get on solving this, Andreas. The unrest bodes ill. Peasants, okay. It is peasants. Peasants are about to do something foolish. Seems like a strange thing to say here. You know, like peasants without what do you call it? A definite article or whatever. Why haven't you told them about the secret entrance into the library? I don't always see eye to eye with Peter and the rest, but I don't want them all killed. If they got into the library, I don't even wish to imagine what they could do. The soldiers would strike back. There'd be a massacre in Tassing. Well, I have no choice but to stop them. You didn't kill Otto, did you? Do you have any thoughts on who might have done this? No. Otto had a few conflicts, but nobody I'd call an enemy. Best of luck to you, Andreas. You don't have much time. Thanks, Lucky. I'm well aware. How's all this going? Andreas, I can't talk right now. I need to watch over Rachel. Yeah, that's fair. But well, the answer seems to be well for the moment. Breadman. Andreas, seems you're in the thick of another mystery again. Yeah, so it would seem. God willing, you can put an end to this unrest. The peasants are angry. Even if what you and Casper said about the abbot makes sense, they don't want to hear it. It's too easy to blame Father Gernot for Otto's murder. I don't think he's going to be able to talk Peter down. That seems like a waste. Do you know anything about who might have killed Otto? Andreas, if I knew anything, I'd tell you. I'd tell Peter. I am critical of the abbot, but I still love the man. I still love all of the brothers and sisters of Kiersau. I don't want to see them harmed any more than you do. If I see or hear anything that could help, you'll be the first person I tell. All right. Thank you, Ulrich. It's the least I can do. Keep faith, Andreas. Trust in Providence. We are all in God's hands. Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. Gret, nothing. Anna, nice hat. We are fully not allowed to point out the hat thing. All right, just a couple more people to talk to. I wonder how long Rat House construction will be delayed now. Werner. Maybe he's hanging out with, Nope, looks like Baltazar is alone. Greetings, Andreas. You've arrived at the ideal moment. All right, less than ideal, considering Otto's recent death. It took place right outside your house. You truly didn't catch anything that would be useful to my investigation? Alas, As said, Warner and Lenhart and I were engaged in a stimulating debate when we heard the crash outside. I only saw a figure flee, but unfortunately I have no useful details on whoever it may have been. I hope you find a lead, for I have severe doubts about the involvement of the abbot in this gruesome affair. Meanwhile, I am drawing close to the final design of my latest invention. As such, I would very much like to hear your thoughts on it. Please tell me that you've invented some kind of fingerprinting process.
That's actually why I asked you to come up. I don't think of fingerprinting, but I figured it's going to be some kind of very low-tech forensic something.
Well,
would be nice and genre appropriate.
It would be. Well, of course, you asked me to come share ideas. Splendid! I've been devising something most unique. Come. I think that was invented a while ago, dude. At present, we have a problem. The peasants suffer under harsh conditions. Don't you agree? This sucks. They do not have it easy, no. They toil constantly, but achieve little over bare subsistence. They are then taxed heavily. The peasants grow angrier, hence the nascent troubles all across the lands. It is a dangerous time. So, I have devised a tool to lessen their drudgery. Here, take a look at this schematic. Behold, the plow. In front of it, an automaton, man or beast, it matters little, dragging the plow behind it. Have you seen any artificial people before? I guess there are multiple ways we can answer yes to this, and I am shocked by that. Well, I've seen the more shepherds who strike the bell and a carousel of automated magi in the Piazza St. Marco clock in Venice. Father and son Ranieri, an impressive piece of work. So you understand of which I speak, the intricacies of machinery. Gears within gears, symmetric coils turning a shaft system that leads to the gearing mechanism. Controls that are quite complex, but allow for it to follow a predetermined path. It toils, so the peasant does not have to. Well, I mean, wouldn't it be easier to move without the figure in front? Just move only the plow itself? No, it is not the puller that is important, to hold and fix and weigh down the plow. The universe reveals itself through the minute intricacies of clockwork. There are still a few imperfections to work out, but I can feel I'm on the correct path. Tell me, Andreas, what do you think? Be truthful. There can be no progress without truth. I gotta be honest with you, my man. It is difficult to see how the effort required to make and maintain this device would be less than plowing with human and animal labor. I am on a fool's errand, am I not? It is what my father would have said as well. I fear I'm a disappointment. Is this inserting ourselves too much into his business?
Yeah, I would do the second one.
Yeah. Your father is also an inventor? He is, with a sharp mind and a sharper tongue if need be. Why did you leave in the first place? I had to prove myself. To my father, I suppose. And maybe. My father had attempted to arrange for me a marriage. I did not feel ready. Remain silent, I feel like.
Yeah.
In any case, there is so much more I have to learn. My inventions have not been as successful as I might like. Why so? I'm not certain. I can envision such designs, but these do not coalesce. Yeah, try harder, get more ridiculous, I think is a fun answer.
I like that.
Let's not encourage him to invent weapons. Think bigger, Baltus. Reach higher. You must have more ambition, a lofty goal. I fear ambition has so far been my shortfall. I reach for more than I can attain. But I thank you, Andreas. I invited you to exchange thoughts, and you have proven most valuable. This conversation has given me much to consider. But now I guess I must return to work. Good luck, Baltus. Until later.
See, I was really hoping for like some Murdoch Mysteries kind of bullshit, and we're not getting that.
All right, so I think at this point we've talked to everybody in town proper. Oh, the church. Oh, no, we did talk to the church, right? Because we had the option to stay for confession. So, I think let's call it here. We're like 70 minutes into this episode.
Yeah, and then we can decide next time.
We'll decide
what thing
how
we're going to use the time on.
Right, how we want to spend the afternoon, and from there, how we want to tackle the rest of this investigation. So that is going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. I feel like even though a man's life, very importantly, was on the dock like the first time, I'm feeling a lot more pressure in this case. The stakes feel very high.
The stakes feel very high, yeah. I'm kind of relieved the murder happened, though, because, like, it's been bleak this whole second act so far, and, like, bleak and very...
Yeah, you know
unsettling ways.
You know things are grim when you experience relief because your best friend in town died. It's like, okay, Jesus, finally.
Finally.
Yeah, it's harsh. It's a very emotional game, and it's very I would say it's very skilled at provoking the emotion, and it hurts. It hurts me in my feelings place. So that's going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. When we return, we take our first big step in the investigation. And we'll see you then.
Bye.